Smith.
And I'm Bill Cartwright. And this is July 9th.
Yep. We're pre-recording because we will be gone July 9th.
That's right.
So
yes.
we're pre-recording, and we're here at the Arbogast Center, and I am extremely excited to be here.
Very, very excited. I'm a member, and if any of you, I would encourage anybody to join because it's really nice. But we come to a lot of the concerts,
and he brought us a couple of times. So
yes,
we got to come.
So I mean, it's
really good.
Really, they put on a first-class shows.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the facility, and because I was a drama coach for a lot of years, it's really cool for me to see.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to go backstage, look around, see where the stars are.
You will like it. I've been back there, and it's really cool.
Well, that's all part of it. So we're going to walk on in, and we're going to see the executive director, Jeannie Ward,
yep.
And she's getting ready to retire, so we may get the opportunity to see the new guy.
Yeah.
So
all right,
let's go.
Let's go. Hello, hello.
Well, hello.
I'm so glad you're here with us.
Well, we're glad to be here.
Real pleased to be able to come in, and it's cool in here.
It's nice.
It was pretty warm standing out there talking.
It's very cool in here. In fact, a little too cool.
Oh,
but it's
for you maybe.
for me.
Right now it feels pretty good.
So we need to make sure that our audience knows that you're Jeannie Ward, Executive Director, and soon to retire.
Yes.
And could you introduce your...
Yes, I will be glad to. I'm excited to. This is Brian Diepring, and he is from the area. He's from Covington, so we're even more excited to have somebody local taking over as the Executive Director. And Brian will officially take over sometime in August. Right now he's in transition, learning about everything, and so this is great opportunity too for him to come along and be on the tour.
Well, I'm glad we get to introduce the new director.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You are the first one.
You're privileged enough.
You are the first one other than our membership recognition night, and Bill was there, where we recognized our members, and we introduced Brian. But so kind of publicly, this is the first time.
Well, good. Well, let's have a sit down and talk about some things going on.
Well, here we are.
Yes.
We're going to ask you some questions, about APAC, and now how long has APAC been going now?
Well, the idea of it started a number of years ago.
Yes.
But and then in 2019, we started a steering committee and took it from there on the feasibility of it. And then it opened its doors officially on 2021 of October.
Oh, okay.
So in the process of doing all that I know it's called the Arbogast Center, and I know that Dave in my past has been a friend, and we've done a lot of different things for him, and I know he's really excited about this. Is he active in the organization now?
Yes, he's the chairman of the board.
Okay.
And he obviously, as a board member and as a big contributor, he's been a supporter, a cheerleader for this from the get-go.
And you were from the very beginning?
Yes, from the very beginning.
So this is going to be sad for you to give up a little bit.
But, well, it's not as sad when you know you have a person coming on board that you feel is the right person to replace.
There you go.
And
Now, don't say too much. His head will grow exponentially bigger.
I'm not completely letting her go either. She's going to still be with us on the board. So.
I hope so.
I'm a board member, and I'll probably this first year I'll come alongside Brian on booking shows. That's always a unique piece to the performing arts, and so and come along any way I can help.
That's probably exciting. Taking over now, you'll get to probably travel to places and see shows that are prospective or potential. You get to do that, or
we don't do a lot of that. We do it all through videos, recommendations. We do go to a couple conferences that showcase the shows.
Okay.
And so that then allows us to see some live. And usually And I'm excited to take Brian on one of those. There's one in New York City, and then there are some in the Midwest. And then you're able to hear them, see them, and you do get Don a much better perspective whether this is the kind of show you want or not. But we don't have that opportunity that much with the showcases. There's only so many. So.
Okay. Do you have parameters of what you look for specifically, or are you open to just about any programming?
Well, I think we're very open. We know that our patrons like a variety. They like the tribute shows, they like the orchestra, they like comedians, they love, live music, people that, are traveling. It's not a tribute show, like the Texas Tenors, for instance. They have been sold out every time they've come here, and they are absolutely great. In fact, we're not ready to announce our season other than to our members, and Bill is a member, but...
I'll have to have you sneak it in my ear.
Well, the Texas Tenor is going to do their new Christmas show
that'll be
in December,
nice.
So...
I've heard them several times, and they're really good.
They are really good. So, we try to have a variety. We have children's shows. We love to have children's shows. We love to have a Christmas show that resonates with grandparents, families, and kids. So, and a lot of grandparents love to bring their grandkids then. And we have Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and elves, and we do face painting. If we just make it a really fun Sunday afternoon to get out before Christmas.
So you're really working to get all age groups in.
All age groups.
And what I like too is before the performances, you have a performance out here, and usually they're pretty good too. I mean, they really are, and it's enjoyable to sit and listen to that while you're waiting to get in to the show.
As someone who has come a few times, and it's very unusual. Normally, you go to Schuster or any of those other places, you don't get those kinds of additional entertainments.
Well, the pre-shows are part of our mission too. The pre-shows allow us to showcase local artists, musicians in the area. And we wanted to make a commitment that this place was a place where we could bring young people or old people that love their craft, and they could come and have a place to showcase it. And so, we try to promote them too.
I know it's always been great. I mean, it really has.
And such a variety too. It's always a variety.
That's important too.
That's a big job for you coming up, because to spearhead all of the different things that go on here. What's making you the most nervous?
I think learning the performance side of it. I know that the task of setting up the season is not an easy one. First you've got to figure out who you would like to bring in, and then you've got the evaluation process of whether you can get him here, the scheduling, all of those kind of things. That's going to be quite a task to kind of learn and kind of discover. So I'm really glad that Jeannie's kind of helping me out with that side of it. But there's a lot of aspects about that I'm excited about at the same time. I mean, getting to work with artists and getting the opportunity to bring somebody in here. And I think Jeannie would tell you this, like, the basis of what we do here is to bring joy and bring the community in, and I think we continue to do that. And the variety of it, I think, what gives us the ability to really hit the full scope of the area. And so we're trying to do that, and we'll continue to push and try to bring more and more different acts in. And a lot of times we're listening to our patrons as well. We're listening to our members, to our board members, to people that come in, and what are they looking for and what do they like.
So how far-reaching do you, I know this is almost an impossible question, but how far-reaching do you think your audience comes in from? How far away, generally? You always have somebody that came from California or something, but the majority of your audience, what region?
The majority of the people come within 60 to 75 miles. The majority of the people that attend the concerts are from Miami County.
Okay.
We have expanded, and that percentage outside the county has definitely increased. But we would say Montgomery County, our surrounding areas of Miami County. We do get a number of people that will come from Indiana. They come over here. We get a big group sometimes that'll come from Richmond area. And
Imagine that. He moved from Richmond
I
to
moved from
Pickla.
Richmond over here then.
so I think we're seeing the growth of spreading to new areas continually happening every year. But, we're here to serve all areas, but obviously with us being in the center of Miami County, we really want to be able to resonate with our patrons from Miami County.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the caliber of shows you bring in, because they're really good.
Yeah, if you're bringing people up from Dayton and the surrounding areas, you're doing pretty good because they've got a lot going on down there. And so if they're coming up here to see a show or two that you have, that's really impressive.
Yeah, we always feel blessed when we are able to get people from outside the area, because I think a couple things that are pluses. First of all, we're right off 75.
Right.
So we're very
Easy access.
Easy access.
Yep.
Our parking is easy. We're not in a parking garage. And accessibility, because a number of our people need great accessibility, and we have that provided between our parking lots and any assistance that people might need. And the facility here is large enough but small enough to be intimate and not feel overwhelmed by the size. And I think people love the auditorium because there's not a bad seat in there.
Oh, there isn't. There really isn't.
You've been
Now,
very fortunate.
I know it's really tough, and it'd be hard to put something like this on without the volunteers.
Oh, my goodness.
And I know you have tons of volunteers, and they do an outstanding job. They really do. So could you tell us a little bit about how many you have?
Yes. We have 135 volunteers.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I was meeting with another organization that was very large from Montgomery County, and they said, how do you do it? How do you get them? And I said, we just put the word out, and people in the beginning just started to fill out the volunteer application online, and before you know it, we had to cut it off because we also want opportunities for them. And if you have too many, then they say, well, there's really nothing for me to do. So about 130, 135 is our max. And we need anywhere from 50 to 70, depending on the show, of volunteers to make it happen. And they are the ones that they just knock it out of the ballpark. They are hospitable, they are helpful, their goal is to make the patrons that come here feel well cared for, and they really do a great job.
Oh, they're always friendly.
One of the things that I think is amazing, and I think it goes back to the administration here, when I walked in, I've known people who are volunteering, and so they'll come up to me, of course, by name, and we'll have a conversation, and I don't feel like they have to be in a hurry to go somewhere else. They'll stay and talk for a couple of minutes, and it's really a nice introduction because it's not something where they're looking like they have to do that and they have to move on because they have other things they have to do. It's just really a nice feeling to have them be that way. Now, are all your volunteers visible out here, or do you have volunteers that are in the other parts of the...
They're all over the place.
Outside.
The parking volunteers, our ambassadors who are parking, they are our rock stars.
Yes.
Because rain, shine,
I was going to say.
ice, snow, cold, hot, they're out there and they do a great job. But not to diminish the rock stars in here.
Right.
in the air, you mean in the air conditioning when it's 95 degrees outside?
We have a lot more that like inside than outside.
I'll bet.
Just
Yes.
say that.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're all over the place. We have them in the cafe because we have our cafe open for refreshments if people want it. And so they volunteer there. Of course, when they greet you, scan the tickets, add our will call or code check, ushers to make make sure you can get to the right door. We have them upstairs on our balconies. We have also then volunteers that are in the performance wing, because depending on the need of the performance, either from security and always hospitality is needed. So there's food and taking care of them. We do have volunteers there also.
You know, I've had experience with professional groups coming to a facility. I was a caterer for a long time, and so I was providing food for groups like Diamond Rio would be an example. And I found out very quickly that they're very specific on what you will have backstage for them. And I was even warned that if you don't have what you're supposed to have, they can walk away. But it was, of course, I've never had that. We've always tried to have everything we needed. And to be honest, most all the performers that we came in contact with were just real pleasant people. But it's a big job to make sure that you have them the things that they need.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes I notice that they take it all and put it on the bus.
Well, yes, that is true.
It's like you're loading up their bus for their next tour.
Well, they'll have a request for all their bus items so that they can take with them.
So, for those who are watching, it's, you don't see this part. You don't see the behind the scene thing. And I think that's important to know about, because it just makes the whole thing run more smoothly when you know what to do.
Go ahead.
I will tell you, even in my short time here, that you talk about the acts that we bring in, and that's an important part of bringing people to the APAC is, you got to bring in the acts they want to see. But I think, going back to the volunteers and the staff that run this place, they're impeccable. And you talk about having the hosting back there with our artists. They're not going to come back if we don't do a good job taking care of them when they're here.
Yes.
So we're not only having to take care of them, but and the patrons that come here to watch, but the staff and the volunteers do an absolute wonderful job. And that's why Texas Tenors, as an example, are like, we want to come back there. And and when you can set that kind of a standard, that helps you to be able to have those shows and bring the people in.
Absolutely.
Your reputation gets out there in the performing world.
And the fact that you have a stage that's almost state-of-the-art anyway, with all of its technology.
We are very blessed with the tech and a great sound system, the lighting, everything is top-notch here. And we have a great team in production that brings all the skills that are needed. We get compliments all the time from the performers and their managers that, you're so professional and you're so hospitable. And, the goal from the very beginning was we want them to be happy to go on stage because they're well taken care of here. Because our goal is for them to give a really good performance. So I think we do well in achieving that. Going back to what you were saying, Bill, the riders are sometimes up to, the rider is the document you receive, for anybody who doesn't know, the document you receive from the manager for that artist that has all the tech requirements, all the hospitality, how many lodging rooms do they need? Do you need a runner? A runner is a person who will be there all day long, and if they want something at the drugstore or at Walmart, you run and get it for them. So, to have all those things in place, and one rider we had was about 35 pages long.
My goodness.
So, it took more than a team to go through it and make sure we were meeting all the requirements. But our goal is to do the best we can so they're happy when they get here. And because we want them not only to be happy to be able to tell other people what a great place, but also, most of all, that they do a great job on the stage.
And having those managers happy is a big plus, because they probably manage more than one group sometimes.
And we've been so blessed to have the people that have come here, 99% of the time, they are really good, great people to work with. So I remember when I took over, when I started, and so many former EDs or present EDs at that time said, oh, you're going to get some. And we've really not experienced a lot of that.
Because some are very demanding.
We've had a few, but when we've had about 57 performances since we started, and I would say I can only name 2.
That you might not invite back.
Well, I don't know if I want that on camera. But
Well, you're not naming.
probably a couple that we just didn't match the way we'd hoped.
Yeah, I understand that, and you're not going to be 100% all the time. It's not possible, but you hit it out of the ballpark most
Now,
of the time.
you have a lot of volunteers, but do you have regular staff also?
Yeah, we have, I always say, we have a small but mighty team. It's not a large team because we're a nonprofit. And so we have to be very
Frugal.
We have to be good stewards.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to continue to build this place, and to do that, we do have to be very good at how we do the operations around here. So one of Brian's main goal is, how to get more sponsors, how to get more donors, because without them, we cannot put this on. Because many people will think the tickets, somebody once after a show said with a sold out, wow, I bet you guys banked a lot of money here.
Nope.
Well, no, there's a lot of expense that has to be paid for a show. So if you don't get sponsors, then sometimes we don't have very much or anything to take to the bank, which we need for the operations and the booking of other shows. So, we
That's a common misconception.
It is.
When you look at an audience and everybody paid the price for the ticket and you multiply that out, you think, whoa, look at the money. But when you pay the performers and all the backstage people that are required that are being
Staff
paid,
and the
all
lunch
that,
and the
right.
food.
and then keeping the building up and having a fund for future upgrades, because on a stage, everything that you have is going to be out of style or out of use, and new things have come along within, 5, 6, 7 years. They're looking for new lighting board and this and that.
We're already experienced that, and we'll be 4 years old in October. We just invested in a new lighting board. We were hoping we didn't have to do that for a while.
But that just happens. I mean, it's just part of it.
It does. It's part of it. But so it's a hard area to get people to understand. As a nonprofit, even though we're a nonprofit, that the cost here is significant for operations. So, and we've had some very generous and very faithful supporters, and our goal is just to continue to build on that base, because we need to continue with this great place here.
And I would think, as an executive director, one of the real perks would be to stand in the back of the theater with a big performance going on and hearing the audience responding and the people on the stage doing an exceptional job, and you know that it was all because you worked hard to get that to happen. It doesn't happen on its own. And the joy I would expect for you all is seeing something come along and just be so good when it's done.
Absolutely. But we have like our patron and promotion manager who takes care of the tickets. She does a phenomenal job.
Yeah, she does.
And takes care of anybody with accessibility needs, and then gives it to the ambassadors to take care of. Our operations director, who takes care of the day-to-day things that are important to keep up on, and rental, and she also helps manage behind the scene with our writers. Our production guy, who just promoted to manager, he was an intern, started in high school in his sophomore year. He's now in his freshman year in college, part-time here, but he is so gifted in the production area that we just used to have a contract with an outside agency. We don't need to do that anymore. So that was a saving. We promoted him to manager, and to our cafe, to our new graphics person that we just hired, media, and we have a marketing person. A lot of people are part-time here because it's just the way it is and the nature of the business right now. But all of them contribute in some way.
Well, I think it's time for us to see the facility.
Great.
And can we start? I'm impressed with this cafe. Now, I was in there a little while ago, and it smells so good with the coffees and all that. But I think our viewers, some of those who haven't been here, will appreciate what the cafe is, because I noticed there was a significant number of people having lunch earlier.
Well, we would like to invite everybody from the community to come in and taste the coffee. And we have breakfast and lunch. We are open Mondays through Saturdays from 7:30 to 2. We have a really great menu, and we have an in-house baker who does all the homemade baked goods, and they are wonderful. And this cafe, part of the reason we wanted to do something like this is, our mission is creating community. And, with entertainment, even with rentals, people coming here, they're in community together. But we wanted something that would be sustained during the weekday, too. And this cafe that's what it's becoming. It's a place for...
Well, I noticed that today. There was a group in there having a really good time, and it was obviously more than just a couple of people coming. It was a whole group that had planned and were having lunch. So I can see that it's a nice thing. Let's take a look.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
The one thing about our cafe that's also nice is that we will have in the morning small business groups come in, and if they want a little more privacy than in here, we also have tables out here.
Oh, yes.
And they can come. We'll have people in the morning. There's one men's group that comes. There's 4 of them. They come every Wednesday morning, and they claim those seats right
They'll sit right away, yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So our cafe it's something we're really excited about for the community, because lots of different things can happen here. We also have with the breakfast and lunch, you can call ahead and they'll have it ready for rapid
Oh,
pickup.
that's nice.
And so that's nice. Or you can call ahead and make reservations for lunch, give us your order, and then when you come in, we'll have a table out there or in here all set up for your group and have lunch ready for
Well,
you.
that's really nice. And what I like is the atmosphere, because all the windows, and even though you can't hear the traffic, you can see the interstate over there
See what's going
and the
on.
school right here. It's just really a nice setting to be in.
And it's not so hot, we're not in a heat wave, it's nice outside too to sit
Yeah,
out
oh, I
there,
bet,
so.
yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But it's just a really nice, well-planned place, I think.
Thank you.
Yes.
A lot of people
really nice.
put a lot of thought into it. And Level MB, who's a local architectural firm here, they designed the place for us. And so we're forever grateful for all the thought they put in how to make this a real community center.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm really excited about seeing the auditorium and the stage, because that's one of my things. So.
Okay, so you're seeing it not all set up for
Right.
performance.
Of course.
So keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
And so right now we're doing some summer cleaning, and we're getting ready for a children's theater workshop in July, where our goal is to continue to build on workshops for community, for children, young adults, that we can provide to the community.
Back in the day, I used to do that.
Well,
I used to do-
sure, because we're looking for people that'll
I used to
do stuff.
direct a summer theater performance. We'd get a group of young people and do a show.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, do I ever?
We did The King and I one summer.
Yeah, and the person that was doing the Kerala home,
The main
one of the main things,
bad guys.
broke his leg.
Oh, jeez.
He called me a week before the performance, and he says, do you want to do that? I think you can do that. Do you want to? I said, I'll give it a shot.
So, but it was in the park in Pittsburgh, and we had quite a large staff of people.
Yeah.
We had a really nice show.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing you're talking about.
We want to continue to build on that for this summer, because that's more our quiet time. We don't do performances rarely in the summer, and part of that is because our community in Troy, Piqua does some of it, Tip, they all have weekend events that we want them to support, and so we don't want to be in conflict with them. So we do open our theater, like in Tip, for the mayor's concert. They have one. So however we can help communities be able to achieve their mission in the summer, we want to
don't forget the high school age, because in Piqua we had, for a long time, we had a music program in the park, and the high school music director, Tom Westfall, did a huge summer program from elementary through high school, and it was an amazing. Everybody looked forward to going to those concerts. They were show concerts. They weren't just concerts. And
well, I'm hoping we can
build on that.
Last summer, we had the King and I here,
Okay.
and it was open to anybody who wanted to try out for it. The summer before that was Sound of Music. We're taking a break from the big summer one this year, and we're starting to see
So those were local people?
it was, the director was a gentleman out of Dayton. He came and put it on with Miami Valley Symphony. So we had we had the symphony for it.
Good symphony.
Yeah, and for both summers. I mean, those were fabulous musicals. So this summer, we're taking a break, and we're going to see about developing our workshops. And then we'd love to have that group back from Dayton to do a children's one. And, well, I shouldn't say children's, it was all ages.
All ages, yeah.
So they were top notch. They were great and well
good deal.
supported.
Now, how many people can you get in the auditorium? What's the capacity?
On the floor here, around 870.
Okay.
And in the balcony will be about 300, a little over 300.
Okay.
So total, if we put our chairs, we have opportunity for 60 chairs on the floor.
Okay.
And for those that like up front and personal, and they're usually, if we have chairs, they're always sold.
A good friend of mine always gets right up front.
Yeah, lots of people like that. And so we have capacity of 1,200.
Okay.
That's a nice size.
It is a nice
That
size.
is, yeah.
It really works. It really works well. Our acoustics in here, and Bill, you know that, and Don, you said you've been here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been here several times.
I mean, is really quality.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw the Share Show.
Were you here for the show?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a fun show?
Yes, it was.
And she was so good. And
She was.
She was one of those very personal performers.
Yeah.
And she engaged with the audience so well. We love it when they engage with our audience. But our sound booth here, we have top-notch lighting board, sound board, and we have the people that know how to use it and do a fabulous job.
It's in a good location, too, for them. They can see what's going on.
We did a lot of research before we built this, and numerous places said, don't put the sound booth way in the back. They need to have someone that can hear
What's going on
here.
Yep.
And so we did that, and it's sunken, so it doesn't have visibility issues for the people behind, though we will always tell the first couple of rows, because every once in a while we have somebody comes in and they want to stand, but most of the time they all sit and we're fine. But,
Yeah.
Wright State did the same thing in their theater.
Did they? Oh, good here.
And so Schuster's like that. Is Schuster? No, Schuster's not
No,
like
Schuster,
that.
no.
But Wright State is definitely. They got a thing. I'm anxious to get up on the stage.
Yeah, let's get up on the stage. It also is a good feeling when you were talking about the joy it brings when you see people here anticipating the show, ready to enjoy it. And so like coming out as the ED and Brian soon to be in that role, looking out here, you just have, there is a sense of satisfaction that you're bringing something to the community that is, it's a night that they get to experience and enjoy. And you know, you forget with performing arts that people are here for all different reasons. We've had people here that they lost a loved one, and this was their favorite show, you know, performer. And so they brought the whole family to celebrate something in their loved one's life that they knew and enjoyed. We've had people come here for, of course, for anniversaries and birthdays, but we have, I love to hear the stories of why they're here, because it's more than sometimes just getting out for the evening. And so that's what we love to hear. We know that performing arts has a unique way of at least all the things that you're dealing with can fade away for one evening or 2 hours, that you just put it aside and you're just enjoying the moment with people around you that are enjoying it too.
Well, shall we move on?
Yeah, you can take a peek backstage. We always like to have people come back here because people are always curious about the LED wall. And so you get to see there are 90, I think it's 95 panels here. And so if one goes out, we pop it out, and you pop in a new one, and you pray that everything's going to connect just right, and it's not a big black spot out front. So our guys really know it well.
That's a real asset to have. It really is.
It is. And you know, it's changed the way people do staging. And with even with our summer musicals that we had those 2 summers, they're not doing a lot of props and staging that comes on. They do a lot of it through the LED wall. So it was well worth the investment. Backstage, this is our load-in. If we come with a semi, they wheel up here, and we bring it, got the lift and bring it out. These are the risers, which every performance has a different configuration of what they want and how high they need to be. So we sometimes use Troy Christian's STEM lab to run over and cut the legs because we're off by 5 inches of what they want. So.
I'll tell you what impressed me the most about came to the Newsboys show, the drummer, and his thing that went forward, tilted like this, and he was spun around. It was amazing.
I thought it was a Kings Island.
Ride. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what it looked like.
It was amazing.
It was.
He was on his side, spinning around, playing the drums.
Never missed a beat. Never missed a beat.
Well, this will take us right into the performance. This is all the electrical for back here. We wanted to make sure that we had all the power we needed, so we never had to get a generator.
And did I hear somebody said something about sometimes they bring a generator, the performers?
Oh yeah, because they're worried that we will not have what's needed. But we made sure we are well covered.
That's good.
And you chose not to do fly space?
We would have had to go another 15 feet in height.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have the capabilities financially to do it.
And the same with floor going down?
Well,
or do you have elevators?
No.
Okay.
And we didn't do an orchestra pit because that was extremely expensive. We had to make choices.
Oh, sure.
You know,
first of all, we were very appreciative of Troy Christian School. We leased this land $1 a year. And if we had to purchase purchased land on 75 especially,
Ooh, yeah.
we probably wouldn't have been able to
Right,
do the
right.
Performing Arts Center.
Well, I understand exactly what you're talking about because I've been involved in designing theater stage. That's why I was interested in the conversation. But it's, I understand it's very costly. I remember one time I was dealing with something with fly space, and per fly was a significant amount of money, and we didn't have as many as I thought we should. So I went out and begged people till I got enough money to put in the right number. So, and that's what you have to do. And there's only so much of that you can do. And you had a huge facility to construct.
Well,
So-
and if we went up higher for the fly system, it also affected the whole design of the building.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
The cost of that, when we found out what it would be, we just said, you know, we're going to limit ourselves to certain performances we can do. The ones that
Well,
we can't,
yeah.
it's going to be okay, because there's other places around us, like Dayton Live, they'll go down the Schuster, the musicals. Like, we can't do a number of musicals because we don't have.
But you know, they've
the
come up,
fly system.
now they're using more of the LED stuff anyway,
Yeah,
or
they are.
projection. They'll project scenery. So you're really, it's not as not common now as it once was because of that. All the new technology takes care of that.
It does help. This one, we had a show that we really wanted was a musical, and they said, no, you don't have all the fly system, what we need. We said, can you just look at the LED wall, because they never used it, and maybe for the future, you might be able to go to some of the smaller venues that don't have that and still be able to achieve what you want. So I think more and more are catching
It's
up.
moving, yeah.
It is. Okay, we have to stop here because I always have to say something about our concert grand piano. When the place was being built, we talked about, do we rent and bring it in when the need is, because we knew we weren't going to need it every time, or do we purchase one? And so I kind of took that on as my own personal project. I said, we are going to get the money to have one. And so this came from the New York Metropolitan Opera House.
Oh, wow.
It's 20 years old. It's a Yamaha. It's absolutely beautiful. And when performers play on it, they will say the sound is just
Amazing,
superb.
I bet.
And so with the help of David Wyan, who's the executive director at Hainer Culture Center, so I'm sure
Yeah.
you're familiar with that.
Yep.
And he's a beautiful piano player. And so I called him up and I said, David, will you help me? And so together, I got the funds. He had the knowledge to get the right piano. Because mine wouldn't have done it. And so we have used this a lot more than we ever thought. It would have limited us.
It's an important piece to a
It really
place
is.
like this. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is all backstage. When the performance is going on, nobody's back here unless they have access to it, special access. Sometimes we have to have security back here because it's required. And so we have some ambassadors who have the background in that, and they'll be here from morning until night. And then back here are the dressing rooms, the green room, which is really more lounge room as it turns out, our conference room where they eat, and we have restrooms, showers, etc. So I'll just take you quickly through it. Let me get the light on here before you enter. Okay, these dressing rooms, we have a divider here, so we've got male, female, we can divide. The restrooms have showers because obviously many times
Makeup.
they're coming on the road, they can't get into the hotel, they want to shower.
Right.
So we've got 3 showers available for them, and it works out great.
Nice dressing room.
Okay, this is technically called the green room.
Now you're a little confused. I don't see any green.
Everybody, we all have said that for how many years?
You know why it's supposed to be green?
Is it for the way it can be videoed in there?
No, it has to do with the calm. The green is a calming color. And so they always, before a performance, would bring the cast into a calming room, which was green. And so the green room was the place to go just before the performance.
Well,
And also where the director would talk.
Yeah.
If there was a need to have conversation, you could do it
Yeah,
in the green
sometimes
room.
it's relaxing, sometimes it's not.
Not so relaxing.
there's a lot of times this room is not
I was
relaxing.
gonna say.
But they're all connected, and then it's all connected with the backstage.
Right.
Or if you need to come in from the floor of the auditorium, there is entrance
Oh, I
there
saw
too.
that.
So we can
Yeah.
have it back here in this area, the hallway. We will have, if they have wardrobe requirements, we hire somebody who will take care of them. Like Texas Tenor always wants somebody to press their clothes, sew on a button, do something. And then around the corner, we have a laundry room. So if anybody needs to have their clothes washed and dried there, we have that.
Well, when you're
accommodation too.
on the road,
Yeah.
sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
You
So we
need-
tried to be able to think about, how best to serve them.
Did a
So-
nice job. Whoever designed the interior decor, the furniture and the wall hangings and things.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
This is where they eat. We usually, for being on the video, we normally have 2 tables, so tablecloths here. This is where we bring in our chafing dishes, we feed them. Over here, we have our coffee, and it all comes from our cafe, so
Sure.
it's freshly ground, and it's really good. The refrigerator is for all the drinks that they want. So when you open it up, when our performers are here, you might see 8 different kinds of things in there and wonder, why are they buying all this stuff? Because
They
that's
require
what
it.
they would like.
They're
Yes.
requiring it.
That's right.
Then over here, this is our laundry room, which I'm sure you don't need to get on video.
Nope,
Yeah.
we're good.
So, in here is our catering room.
Oh, nice.
And so the caterer will pull up to the end here, and then we bring it in here. We have a hospitality staff that will have had all the snacks, all the drinks, all the things that they would like already set up, except for the food. And we'll bring that, it could be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or it could be just dinner, and we take care of it all.
Have you had any problems with obtaining something that they want?
Oh, yeah, we order on Amazon all the time.
All the time? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind
We
of thought.
get in the drink or the specific thing.
Because some of that stuff
There
is
you go.
very specific and
Or
hard
the
to come by.
teas that they want.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Amazon is
Thank
our-
goodness for Amazon,
Yeah,
right?
Amazon is our friend
Yeah.
and helps us in a lot of ways.
I bet.
So we've had performers that have been very, very particular on their drinks, and that's okay. We get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
You like what you like, I guess.
Well, when you're on the road, but when you're on the road for 6 months from one venue to another, I guess that's when you get to say that. I would rather.
I don't know how some of them keep up the pace.
Oh, I don't either. That would be really tough.
So if we have a meet and greet, it'll be in this back area, and it's not all the performers want to meet and greet, but the ones that do, and we're able to, our patrons love to have it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Used to do that at the Kenley in Dayton, Kenley Players.
Oh, Kennedy players,
Yeah,
yeah.
they used to bring in professional performers, and of course afterwards you could go meet them.
Whatever happened to them? Did they just fade
Schuster
into-
came along. Well,
But no, internationally.
the Kenley Players, it just got to a point where it was too expensive and they couldn't, and they were only doing, 5 cities. It was all one owner and he was producing the whole show, and it got to be just something they couldn't do.
I'm going to take you to the second floor. Not as exciting as the first, but the mezzanine and the balcony are one of my favorite places, so.
Have it
Here
be.
to the second floor, and I'm going to show you the mezzanine, balcony, and a few other things that we
Okay.
have here. What we love, when I mentioned about the pre-shows and the before a performance. We do this also for the visual arts. We love to showcase our area artists.
Oh, that's very nice.
Here is our art gallery. This is all a local artist. This one happens to be from Troy, Nancy Schuler. And we have
Nancy
one
Schuler.
downstairs, Annette Cargill. And we'll be eventually during the year replacing some of this artwork with one of the artists from Tip City. And maybe you've got a suggestion for an artist from Piqua, since you're familiar with a lot of things in
I'll have to
Piqua.
think about that because
But we love to showcase it. But when we have this place rented, we have the capabilities of having a sit-down dinner for between downstairs and up here for about 260 people.
So do you do a foundation dinner that raises funds for you that's
Last year, we did our first fundraiser, and we had it obviously here. And it's something that we'll probably try to do maybe every other year, but it's probably whatever this
new
gentleman
director
right
is
here,
interested in doing?
what he wants to do. So we'll wait and see what he's going to bring. So.
We'll build on it.
I think
But it's a great place. We've had corporations come here and do their strategic planning up here. It's open, it's airy. Then we supply lunch through our cafe.
Sure.
And coffee, so it works out really well. But it's just really nice. I think sometimes when you're doing, corporations are looking for places that are not all confined and can be open, and this is one they can do breakout rooms, and so we've done all that, and we love having them here. We've had galas here from different chambers in the area, and everything works out really well. Nonprofits, we also do a couple times a year. We're big, let me back up a little. We really support nonprofits. We're a nonprofit. We know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And so during the year, our members, a certain percentage of their membership goes to a program called Pay It Forward. And that program supports nonprofits to give complimentary tickets. So
I've had them.
Oh, you have? Well, great.
Because we both volunteer at the Bethany Center in Piqua.
Okay.
And you had an evening that Bethany could come.
We know how hard it is as a nonprofit who's providing services, and all of them are so needed to keep our community, especially Miami County, taken care of.
Sure.
So it's our way of saying thank you, and sometimes they give them to their clients. Who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford to come to a performing arts center. And so we do that, and we're very committed in that area. But as I was saying with the nonprofits, we try certain organizations that we know are giving so much to our community. We try hard to support them by allowing them to use the place. So the Miami County Police Force that does their recognition once a year for all their police force, and the fire department, we don't charge them here.
That's good.
And there's others like that. We have to be careful. Unfortunately, I wish we could say to any nonprofit, this place is available. We know how hard it is, and if it can help support you. But we do discount for nonprofits.
The one piece that I think would be good with that is if you could get students, because here's what occurs. I was a teacher at the high school level for lots of years, and what occurs is that a lot of times I was directing shows with students who had never been to a show. They had no idea what the stage performance was going to be like, and you have to teach them the whole thing, and they don't have a chance to see shows that often, and parents often I don't want to go do that. But if you get a group of kids to come in for a performance, then they start to get an interest that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So that's a good
Well, I'm
part of
glad
it.
you said that, because another part of our mission is in the education piece. And I come from an education background, so of course I have a heart for that.
Sure.
But we have provided, through the performers, so far 3 master classes where they come in early, and then we invite schools or specific schools, whatever resonates with the master class that we have here. So we've had different groups come in here. One I think that really was over the top was a group called Naturally 7. They're an a cappella group.
Oh, yes, they are so good. Oh, my gosh.
Well, they came in and they did a master class for Troy City. And those students, they had an a cappella group, and that's what we invited here. Those kids were like in awe because this a cappella group not only did the voice singing, but they also did every instrument.
Yeah, they're amazing. They really are.
And so, and you just hope that maybe one student was encouraged or inspired that if that's what they want to do in life or have a big dream, maybe, just maybe, it got solidified or at least propelled them forward.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've proven that because you have the young gentleman who's working with you who just promoted to manager, who started in high school and now he's in college, and you still have him, and he has learned to really enjoy and probably love the art that he's dealing with.
Oh yeah, he does. And we have another student that started, she's from the Kettering Modern School of Design, and we took an intern. She became as an intern here, and we just hired her on. So we love being able to provide those opportunities. I wish we had more opportunities. We only need so many here, but
well, we have really loved taking the time with you and having the opportunity to meet our new director here, and also just to see the whole facility, because our viewing audience generally wouldn't see everything that we saw today, and that just makes it extra special. So I really appreciate you taking the time to do that, and we wish you good luck as you move forward, and you get an enjoyable retirement.
Well, thank you.
Or you'll volunteer to do something.
I'm taking on another job.
That's a great idea.
Well, there you go.
That.
Hey, one more thing. We have a recording studio that we're opening up in about 2 months.
Oh, really?
To the public. So if there's any aspiring artists out there, musicians that would like to come and record, we'll have a small cost with it, but we're excited to offer it to our schools, our colleges, and individuals. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Well, you don't want me to sing.
No, I know.
But I could read. We're writing a book. I could read the book. And then,
well, thank you for taking time.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're giving us your time.
No, we enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, thank you much. All righty.
Well, that was really enlightening.
That was amazing. Yes.
I was so impressed.
Really
I really enjoyed the visit, and they were both so forthcoming and gave us a lot of really good information.
And like I said before, if you're not a member, you should consider being a member of APAC, because it's amazing, and there's some advantages to it. There's some discounts you can get and that type of thing.
Well, and you're helping an organization become vibrant, so that's good.
That's the important part.
So what do we got for activities? Are there any events
there's
coming
a
up?
few real quick. I'll just go through some. We need to remember that, like the Piqua Farmers Market, that goes on all summer, every Thursday, and also there's others.
Oh wait, Piqua is Thursday, and then they have Troy, right?
Yeah, I was coming to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll shut my mouth now. It's your turn.
Yeah, so the farmers markets in the area that we know of, Piqua is Thursday from 3 to 6 every Thursday. Cherry Street Farmers Market in Troy is on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. And Newton has a local market on July 18th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's the first time I've seen Newton on there. So They don't do it all summer, but they have several things that they're going to do. And then we have the Proudy Concert Series, July 11th with Evolution. That's at 7:30, and that's in downtown Troy. And then on July 18th, another Proudy concert, and that will be Dayton's Salsa Project. Do you like salsa?
I like to eat it, but I
know.
have a feeling this is dancing it.
I think you're right. It's a type of music and all that. So anyway, that's 7:30 to 9, and that's in Troy. And also for more information at Troy Hayner Center, you can get more information there. Then Lucky Lemonade Concert Series at the Stone Courtyard at Hayner Center, and they're presenting Nasty Bingo, which is, it's a funny name, but it's a jazz group. And that's at 7:30, and again, at the Hayner Center, so if you need more information, you can go there. And then on July 18th and 19th, come on down to Piqua for Christmas in July.
Oh, that's right.
That'll be there. I won't be there. Well,
Do we have to put up our Christmas tree?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But anyway, for more information, I think you would contact down Main Street Piqua. That'll give you some more information. And then also on July 18th, the Lock 9 Concert Series. So while you're down there doing Christmas shopping, you can go to the Lock 9 Concert Series. McGuffey Lane is going to be there. That's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that's just some of the quick events that I had.
And if you've got any that you want us to talk about, make sure you let us know.
Well, and remember, you can always go to hometowngreat.com/events, and that'll give you a whole bunch of other events that are going on. There's just too many for us to mention them all. So.
Okay. Well, now that we're only on YouTube, make sure that you mark us as a favorite, and so you don't miss any of our programs.
Absolutely.
And you can go back and watch. And obviously you found us, so just keep looking for us, and we're going to look forward to some really great things in the future. We've got some good things planned. We're hoping to get out to the Johnson Farm, take a ride on the canal boat. For those of you who've never been able to do that, we get a chance to do that maybe. And there's some other really cool things that we're going to be putting into the program as we come into the future.
Like and subscribe to the channel.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe.
You'll get the video alerts if you set your alarm alerts on.
Okay. I hope everybody heard that, because that sounds
subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, and then you'll get notified when a new video comes out.
Oh, that would be good.
And that makes it a lot easier to get to also.
For those of you out there, I'm one of the old people. I don't necessarily know how to do all that, so I have to have AJ come over to the house, get me all set up so I can watch myself, because otherwise I can't see it.
Oh, boy.
We'll get that taken care of anyway. So it's about time to wrap it up.
Yep, I think so. I'm Bill Cartwright.
And I'm Don Smith.
And
that's what's happening.